the karmic PM.
What is up, besties? It is your girl Karmic, back to you again with another video, and this time I was drawn to this by watching The Tourist on Netflix. Really good show, highly recommend. The old Bloody Mary thing that I believe a lot of us did in different countries, because there's rumors that it was like the Queen Mary of like Scotland. I don't know, whatever the hell. There's a bunch of rumors about what it is, but basically, if you've never heard of Bloody Mary, what it is supposedly what you do. You go into a dark bathroom, you look in the mirror, you say it 3 times, and then something's supposed to come out. Now, I already did the reading, and there is an origin. So, that being said, I will let you enjoy it the way that I did. I will not imprint on it. This is all alleged and for entertainment purposes only, besties. There are 0 facts here, because why? Just floating hands on the internet, no facts. What else do I need to tell you guys? Honestly, this was just a really fun reading. I'm glad that I did it, because as a kid, I used to be terrified of this. Now I understand why I was terrified of it. I'm intuitive, so if you were worried about doing it, there's a reason. There's a reason. This is a fun reading. But as always, thank you to everybody that likes my videos. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you to everybody that subscribes. Hey to my regulars. Hey besties. I hope you guys are doing amazing. Comment down below what you guys know about this folk tale, mythology, whatever people want to call it. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. All the links are down below. You'll be the first to know about future videos. You can know when to vote in the community post. Definitely always vote in the community post so that the videos you want to see are happening. Always comment down below to help me figure some of the gaps out. I got a little brain fog because, like I said, if you guys want a book, if you guys would like to book a personal reading with me, I'm a little over 7 days in advance booking right now. So if you want to book a personal reading, the sooner you reach me, the better. Like I said, Facebook, Instagram, email, those are the places where you can reach me to get a reading. But that being said, this was just fun. I was actually very impressed with what the answer was. Kind of wasn't shocked, kind of what I expected a little bit. But it may or may not be the Queen or Mary Tudor or whoever it is. You'll see what I got. But as always, this is a legend for entertainment purposes only. Like these videos if you enjoy them. Share them with your friends if you enjoy them. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to have you here. Comment down below. I have a virtual tip jar. If you feel called, go ahead. I appreciate everybody that does. All of it goes right back into this channel. And I just appreciate all of you for being here and enjoying this space with me. I love you, besties, so much. But without further ado, let's get into it. All right, besties. So we are going to take a look at the Bloody Mary, the origin of it. Right away, I keep hearing the song. This is a story of a girl who cried a river. Who cried a river and drowned the whole world. And I'm being drawn to like high school and bullies and like people throwing you against, like a locker. So I feel allegedly that this is a little girl, or at least at one point she was a little girl who was bullied. Probably sensitive. It's giving me sensitive soul energy. And like I'm seeing the movie in my mind's eye, Carrie, where like she's had enough and she's like drenched in blood. So this almost feels like a little girl who got bullied. And so it's like being on the other side of the mirror to continue what had happened to her. Like, I'm being drawn to how, like, not to share my personal shit, but when I was in middle school, a young woman actually, she hung herself, and she was like 13 years old. So this almost kind of feels like a little girl that was bullied that has like a vengeance towards other people. It's like it's giving me the vibe of like a power trip, because I didn't have power in my personal life when I was alive. But let's take a look at the cards. What do they say? What is the origin of the Bloody Mary that people try to conjure up in the mirror? Who is she? Where'd she come from? And all that jazz. And all that jazz. Anyway. Ace of Swords. Knight of Swords. Grief. Yeah, just like I said, with that Knight of Swords in the reverse with the Eight of Swords, I feel like people bullied her. And for her, it's like, now I get to, it's giving me the vibe of like, I get the final say. Does that make sense? Like, I was abused. I was emotionally scarred. With that Five of Cups, that's grief, but it's in the reverse. And notice how it's a female. So it's like, I'm turning my grief into everybody else's pain. So I do feel like obviously it's not going to work for everybody, but it almost gives me the vibe of like, she might be drawn to other people that are suffering and or other people that are bullies. So I have seen on like Reddit threads that there are people that have done it and seen stuff, like seen a knife slash through the window, or just seen like a bright light. I feel like this soul, whoever she is, she's drawn to like, it's giving me the vibe of like, I'm drawn to the underdog, I'm drawn to the misfits, and then I'm definitely drawn to the bullies because I'm seeing like jocks in my mind's eye, and it's like trying to give them a good scare. So I almost feel like I see her whispering, like as a spirit. I see her like whispering at like frat parties or like high school parties, like whispering to the guys that she would have hated when she was their age, like giving them the idea to play Bloody Mary so that she could scare them in the mirror. It's like, I'm seeing like every coming of age movie where kids get picked on in high school. I feel like she was picked on as a kid. She had a vengeance towards that. And so it was like, I'm going to get the people that remind me of the people that made me feel disempowered, if that makes sense. Also, with that Five of Cups in the reverse, I do feel like maybe, I don't know exactly when she passed away because I can't even get online where she originated from. They still think it's Queen Mary Tudor. It's not. I'm not getting that. It feels like a bullied high school kid. It's giving me the vibe of like back when it first happened, when she died, she had like what's that saying? Because I'm seeing the movie Taken where it's like, I'll find you and I'll get you. So it was a vengeance. Thank you, Spirit. So it's like, I want to come after everybody that did me. That's why I'm seeing Carrie in my mind's eye. Remember, like she was getting bullied too. There's a theme here. But I feel like over the years, she's kind of moved on, which is why you don't really hear much about it anymore. She don't really come out. I think if anything nowadays, her soul might have moved on, but either like other demonic entities might come through the mirror because it's kind of you giving permission even though you don't realize it. It also might be your spirit team trying to reach out to you depending on if you're protected or not. But I feel like, because I'm hearing portal and I'm being drawn to the mirror, so it's like I don't feel like she's necessarily fully around anymore. I think if you got like an asshole jock that came out, she probably would show up again, but I don't feel like she's doing this anymore. I feel like her soul's moved on, but I feel like she used to. So I think if you were to do this today, you would be attracting something from the other side of the portal, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know if you've heard that mirrors are supposedly portals. That's what this feels like. It's like originally it was her way of getting back at people, but I think it's shifted into like other entities and beings taking advantage of this mythology. But anyway. Magician, scared. Yeah, again, it's like I feel like people made fun of her. Like I'm seeing in my mind's eye, I don't think she was the principal, but it's reminding me of Matilda when the principal gets all that shit thrown at her. It's kind of giving me that vibe. Like I feel like this was a time when she was in school. I don't know how far along in history that was, but like with the Magician card, it's kind of giving me the vibe of like the communication around her is bad. I'm going to the principal and I'm telling what's going on. Nothing's changing. People are looking at me like I'm the crazy one. I'm a victim of the circumstances around me. There's nothing I can do to break free of this. With the Fool in the reverse, it's like I'm the only one who knows that this is the truth. Everybody around is gaslighting me. So it wouldn't shock me if this was during a time where women were like seen as not as, I mean, old school where men ruled the world and women were just kind of there for show. It's kind of giving me that vibe. Like, I don't believe you because I only trust men. So that's kind of giving me the vibe of like This was a time where like women didn't have power. And I think that she went to her principal, whatever form that may take. And it's kind of giving me the vibe of like, don't be naive. Like, you're taking it too personally. It's not that deep. And she's like, I'm being bullied. And the principal or whatever is just like, you're fine. Like, boys will be boys. Like, that's kind of the fucking vibe, which pisses me off. And so it was like, I have to save myself by myself. I don't have any support. It's kind of sad, actually. Yeah, sabotage by others. Abuse of power. I also feel like somehow money was involved. So, like, it's kind of giving me the vibe of, like, I don't know what this would constitute back in her day, because this feels like it's a lot older than, like, say, like, you know, a time when we had electronics and stuff. But it's giving me the vibe of, like, like the Nepo baby or something. So, like, maybe the kid that was making fun of her was a boy. He had a lot of connections to the principal and to the town. And so his parents could pay off people, and then she'd get gaslit, and then like they would just take advantage of the power structures that they had. So it's like the kid that's getting bullied. Nobody believes that kid. The rich kid's the one that's bullying them. So it's like, you know how like those crime shows where the person's like wanted for murder, but there's someone high up that like has connections, so they actually didn't do anything. They're just being framed for it. That's kind of the vibe here. It's like, I'm getting bullied and nobody believes me because the people that are doing this, they have connections and everybody just accepts it. It's like the school bully that always gets like a slap on the hand, but never anything done. This girl was being emotionally abused, maybe even physically abused, because I almost see like getting pushed up against, what's it called? That shows my age. She's getting like pushed up against a locker, but like obviously I don't know what version that would be back when she was, you know, here. Yeah, it's giving me the vibe of like, shut up and move on and know your role. Like, you're causing problems. This is how things are supposed to go. Accept things for what they are. You're a woman. You shouldn't complain. This is how it is. I feel like whoever bullied her, I feel like it was like more than one person. I feel like she had like a really sensitive soul. So like she got bullied by multiple people. But I feel like maybe people got paid off. So like I can almost see like, because they're giving me it in like terms that I can understand. So it's like the polo kid that, you know, everybody's rooting to be like the king of the Super Bowl because that would make their town look good. And it's like his dad pays off the principal so that, you know, the girl that he took advantage of doesn't get the assault charge, you know, like it's kind of giving me that vibe. I think this girl didn't have control over her body, her life, her anything. It's like people got paid off to look the other way. It feels like the parents are like in bed with the principals and whoever is in control of like the education structure that existed at this time. And so it was like whenever she complained with this Five of Swords in reverse, it's like you need to accept what it is and let it go. Devil card in reverse, it's giving me like boys will be boys, like you need to let it go. So I think this girl was being abused and nobody was listening to her because it was a time where women should be seen, not heard. This is sad. I wonder also if this was a time, yeah, especially with that high priestess. I wonder if this was a time where witchcraft was a thing, because Queen of Wands is kind of reminding me of witchcraft, and it's almost giving me the vibe of like those little dolls where you stab it with a needle. So I almost wonder if that was her way of giving payback at first, like trying to do witchcrafty shit, because even with this Five of Wands in reverse, it's reminding me of like... and my throat's giving out. I don't feel like she could defend herself verbally, so it's like I'm doing witchcrafty shit. It's just, for some reason, it's just reminding me so much of witchcraft. And with that Five of Wands in reverse, it's like in the comfort of my own home. But with the High Priestess, it's giving me the vibe of like I'm calling on the ancestors. So it's like you don't know that there's multiple people around me. So it's giving me the vibe of like having a lot of control. Like it's reminding me of like horror movies where the innocent little child is like looking around and the evil, I don't know, spirit. Give me an example. Like, say there's like a hidden bookshelf and the little kid goes in it, but because it's innocent, like the ghosts try to scare her, but they don't actually like kill her. Like, that's kind of the vibe. It's like this little girl was like, I'm gonna make friends with the dead because I can't make friends with the living. Like, that's kind of the vibe. I feel like she unintentionally fucked with witchcraft. I think eventually she probably learned witchcraft because that Queen of Wands is just screaming witchcraft. I think she like called on the ancestors like, I'm tired of being abused, leave me alone. Like, that's kind of the vibe. Yeah, it's like things aren't working here. People are emotionally cruel to me. I feel like people like allegedly, my throat is given out in this reading. I feel like she never got to speak her truth. I feel like it's like, I don't think she lived a long life because it's giving me the vibe of like in school, people pretended to be my friend with that Ace of Cups in reverse, but it's giving me the vibe of like, you know, all those coming of age movies where it's like, yeah, I'll be your friend, but then they embarrass you in like the cafeteria in front of everybody. Like, that's kind of the vibe. It's like, you're pretending to be my friend. I'm telling you, there's like some sort of parallel with the movie Carrie. It's like her getting pissed because she never got her way. So it's like it transformed into her soul being stuck. Because it's like things aren't working. I can't excel here, especially at school. People are pretending to be my friend, but it's actually like to hurt me and to make their friends get a good laugh. And it's like I'm building up anger, and it almost feels like I'm holding four of Pentacles. It's like I'm only trusting myself. I'm holding on to myself. But it's reminding me of the pentagram here. I feel like she messed with witchcraft. So it was like, I'm going to go to my ancestors. I'm going to drudge up my ancestors. I need protection. I don't feel safe. So this definitely was during a time where I think witchcraft was maybe more accepted. It wouldn't shock me if it was like Salem trial energy where like you'd probably get killed. But like she was into that type of stuff. And she knew that people were abusive. And because I'm seeing that movie with the three witches that's popular, and they recently came out with a remake. Y'all know what that movie is. I can't think about it. There's three witches. One of them's from Sex and the City. It's kind of giving me that vibe, like calling in the ancestors because I can't handle the abuse. And so it's like, remember how I was saying I was seeing the doll where like you stab a needle in it and then this card comes out, which looks like the doll? I feel like she messed with witchcraft. So it was like, people are making fun of her at school. She comes home in like an attic or whatever, and she like drudges up her ancestors because, you know, this is a time where there's no technology. You're not distracted by that. You're probably in tune with spirituality. And she called in the reinforcements. And I think she did some like messing with those dolls where you poke sticks. Because remember, I saw that and then I dropped this card. I feel like people pretended to be her friend, like, oh, sit with me. And then like, it's given the vibe of like, oh, you can sit with me, and then like underneath use a whoopee cushion type of thing. I feel like people bullied her. And I also feel with this Queen of Wands that it was like she was unique. It wasn't like, and listen, everybody's got to, I'm not trying to judge anybody. I'm channeling, so bear with me here. It wasn't like she was a dork or anything like that. I think that she was unique. You know what I mean? It's like in a world where you're like applauded for being like everybody else, this girl stood out. I don't think that she was ugly or weird. I think she was different. It's reminding me a lot of how like I was punk rock back in a time where Abercrombie and Fitch was popular, but then punk rock got popular like 10, 20 years later. It's kind of giving me the vibe like she was ahead of her time because she fucked with witchcraft and stuff like that. So she probably had psychic insight. So she probably wore her own type of clothes, things that she was into. But yeah, she had a grudge because people were bullying the fuck out of her and her ancestors were coming down to help her, allegedly, and for entertainment purposes, only no facts here. Yeah, it's like I'm trying to understand how you people move. I'm trying to get it from your perspective. You guys, yeah, I'm hearing the song, Why You Gotta Be So Cruel, Don't You Know I'm Human Too? People were just mean to her. It's like what we don't understand, we throw rocks at. That's the vibe. She was different. She didn't want to fit into some form of whatever cookie cutter version they had back then. And so they targeted her. But little did they know, she was in pretty good with the ancestors. Yeah, I feel like her aggression turned real quick. It was like, I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of how I'm being treated. I'm sick of how the world's treating me. This needs to end. This needs to end now. With that world in reverse, it's like, no matter what I do, people are still after me. I don't know. Like, I'm being drawn to the key. It's like, what what version of me will you like? Like, what do I have to be in order for you to enjoy me? Like, what do I have to be in order for you guys to be my friend? And notice how there's like a group behind her, and it's like, I'm outside of the group. I'm not appreciated. And notice how she's beautiful. Like, even in the Queen of Wands, she was beautiful. So it's like, I feel like she had a natural beauty that triggered people. She was unique. You know what it's giving me the vibe of? And I'm not trying to bring up religion. If you guys ever want me to do a reading on it, I will, because I don't mind. I will cause chaos. I don't mean to, but I like the truth. It's kind of giving me the vibe of like Jesus being a prophet. And because people don't understand psychics, it's like burn her at the stake. So I almost wonder if people kind of came after her because they knew she was into witchcraft, especially with the Eight of Wands. It's kind of reminded me of like torches. So I wonder if we're going to find out about her death. But there was definitely some bullying that it almost feels like her energy stuck around for a while, because it was like, got to help other people that are bullied / I don't know if anybody has heard of this. I think it's on a lot of spiritual shows, but sometimes your soul's not really around anymore, but if you had an experience of like extreme anger, the energy of anger doesn't leave that space. So for instance, you might go to a house because it's haunted, like you heard about a haunted house and you're like really excited. And then in this one area, the tension's really high and you feel really funny and weird. But in reality, like someone at one point in that room was so fucking angry that that energy never went away. It's kind of giving me that vibe where like eventually her soul did move on, but the anger she had towards injustice kind of never really went away. So it's almost like that energy fragment kind of comes back if like, say you're in the mirror calling on Bloody Mary because you're being a victim of bullying, or it's like she's got a soft spot for the underdog and her soul kind of gets re-triggered when it's someone who's like for instance, if it's a dude at a frat party that's like, this shit's stupid, I'm gonna go do it. It seems like she's more likely to fuck with someone like that and someone that is an underdog because she sees herself in them, and it's like, I want to toughen you up so that you don't go through what I went through. Yeah, with that temperance in reverse, it's like people talked, but they talked shit. And I thought that we were friends, but we're not. Because, like, notice how these people are talking, but here she is on the outside. It's like, people gossip. I was trying to start over. I was trying to make friendships, but everybody just wanted to judge me. I was always the black sheep. I was never going to fit in, and I was tired of it. Yeah, it's like I didn't know how to create my own happiness. I think there was shit going on at home, too. So maybe, like, it's kind of giving me the vibe. Again, remember how I was seeing, like, a Nepo vibe type of baby? Like Nepo kids pissing her off. I feel like maybe her family struggled. Like, maybe she didn't come from much. Like, maybe she had hand-me-downs. And again, it's like the kids were mean to her and the anger just built up over time. It wouldn't even shock me if, like, she unintentionally conjured, like, a negative entity, because I did see witchcraft. So I almost wonder if something, like, attached itself to her because she was so angry. That's why it's giving me the movie Carrie vibes. I feel like something was helping her to, like, attack other kids. I don't know that she actually killed any other kids. It seems like anything she got done was after her passing. And for my regulars, there are crows at my window right now. Someone called me out, one of my regulars. I see you post all the time, and you were like, you every video, crows, me. So true. Yeah, it's like I'm trying to get out of being stuck. How do I cause harm to others? Looking at everything I put in. I feel like this was someone who practiced witchcraft. It's giving me Carrie vibes. Like, I'm tired because I'm hearing the song No More, Baby, I'ma Do Right. So I feel like this is when she hit a stage where she was like, what can I do? I feel like she got sick of it. It's giving me like Stella's got her groove back. Like, I'm tired of how you guys treat me. I'm tired of all the stress that comes with it. How do I get you guys back? And I'm being drawn to like the candles here, and it's like I think she delved into witchcraft, but I think she conjured up some dark shit. And I don't think it was intentional. It's just, if you're in a dark headspace and you're like, I need help from the outside forces, well, if you're in a dark headspace, you're probably going to attract dark entities, and that's never good. King of Cups in reverse. Yeah, I think she attracted negative entities because she was in a negative headspace. Page of Pentacles in reverse. Look at how this person looks like she's trying to conjure something up. It's reminding me of like sitting on the ground. Look at, she's conjuring. I'm telling you, this was a girl that was fucking with shit she shouldn't be messing with. Probably had daddy issues too. I feel like her dad was very old school. Not shocking. We're reading something that's from old school. But it's like, I feel like she went to her dad for help. Nothing. And I feel like she was tired of people being emotionally abusive to her. And so it's like, I'm going to conjure up something. And I feel like she unintentionally conjured an entity that helped her take care of the shit that was going on. I don't know if, because I'm being drawn to the gun. So considering we don't really know who Mary is for sure, I don't know if she ended up unintentionally, like, it wouldn't shock me if a couple of kids, like, mysteriously died. Like, they had a heart attack and they're, like, 21 and you're like, why are you dying at 21 years old? It wouldn't shock me if she had some sort of, like, power because she worked with some dark forces. Like, it's just, I'm really being drawn with this Page of Pentacles here. It's like, look at how she's fucking with witchcraft. She's making shit levitate. She's got an owl, that spirit talking to you. It's like, I feel like she used all of her anger to turn it into something. And I feel like that's how it seeped into this Bloody Mary in the mirror thing, because she was trying to still go after people that hurt her and help people. Like, I almost see her where it's like, I feel like she's moved on for the most part. I think you might be dealing with other entities when you do this, because it's like, it's a portal, it's an opening. So I feel like it's kind of like a walkie-talkie, like whoever hears it might come first. I don't think it'll be Mary. But that being said, I feel like she had a soft spot for like underdogs. So if like, say like you were at a party and your boyfriend cheated on you and you're crying and you're drunk, and then you go into the window or the mirror and you're like, fuck it, like life is over. I feel like a wreck. My man left me, yada, yada. And you're like, Bloody Mary 3 times in the mirror. I feel like she would show you something. So it's like, at least you know that there's something real on the other side. And I feel like either she would give you some sort of like an idea. It's kind of giving me a vibe of like a drop of idea, like a channel, like a download to like tell the dude to piss off or like flip a drink in his face or something. It's like, I'm whispering to you how to deal with this piece of shit because I want to help you too. Like, this is actually pretty cool. Yeah, I feel like this was a time where witchcraft was frowned upon. Yeah, it's like, people don't see me. They don't understand me. I'm never enough for them. So it's like I'm in my own little world, creating my own little things that make me happy. I feel like there was just issues at home, period. I feel like this was a time where, like, moms probably lost their shit because it was like, I can't have a job. I can't do this. I'm just a mother. And it's like, I'm reminded of how in this picture, that's a sexy mom. You know what I mean? Like, that's a mom that, you know, she's hot. So I feel like her mom was struggling. Her dad was very masculine, and it's like I had no one to go to. I feel like her mom, it's giving me the vibe, I've had this in other readings, where like the mom might do some weird shit to get the father's attention. So like maybe dressing up like a little kid or some weird shit. I feel like they were into some weird sex shit back then because it's like trying to get your attention, trying to get you to notice me. So I feel like there's this childhood trauma that's also happening because dad shows no emotion at all and mom doesn't really care about me because she's not paying attention to me because dad's not paying attention to her. Yeah, I'm hearing the song Family Portrait by Pink. I think there was a lot of issues in the household. So it's like, nobody understands me. My family doesn't care about me. I really have no friends. All this anger. It's giving Carrie vibes, that movie Carrie. Yeah, look at that. 10 of Cups in reverse. We look pretty happy. We look pretty normal. Let's go back to that. The family life was bad too. So it's like she unintentionally conjured up shit because she was going through it. Yeah, it's like I'm going to create something and then I'm going to go after y'all. Where's the death card? What happened to her? I'm confused. What's the back deck? Success, but it's also ego and pride. And look at how everybody's after her, but she's kind of like winning. I feel like probably towards the end of her life, I feel like people went after her. I think this is why I was drawn to this deck. I feel like the reason that we don't really have a full story on her is because it's like, kill the witch. And, you know, they don't really like to talk about Salem witch trials and stuff. It wouldn't shock me if she's from Salem because it's like, everybody's going after her because they know what she's capable of. But the only reason she was capable of it in the first place is because she was getting verbally abused by everybody around her. And I feel like she unintentionally conjured up an entity that was willing to work with her. Yeah, and it's like, I don't have to be fearful anymore because something's on my side with that Seven of Swords. I don't think she realized what she conjured up, but she also had this, like, gotta save people that are like me and gotta go after people that made me like this in the first place. So it's kind of given, like, hero for the underdogs, but I'll kill everybody that hurts the underdogs. Yeah, judgment is like, do you deserve to be alive or are you a bad person? It's like, I'm judge, jury, and executioner now because no one else was that for me. Yeah, remember Salem witch trials? Isn't this what they looked like at the end? This feels like the end of her life. I feel like she was burned at the stake because they knew what she was up to. Yeah, it's like out of my comfort zone. And look at how there's like a demon under the bed. I feel like she accidentally conjured up an entity. People knew that she was fucking with dark shit. And I feel like in the public, they were like, we got to save our people. We got to save our children. I feel like a few people died because of her. And so they burned her at the stake. I feel like they knew she was a witch. This was a time when it was witchcraft time. She tried to escape. But it's giving me the vibe of like, I don't know if anybody has seen this movie. I can't think of his name. But like he goes to jail for murder, but he actually didn't murder. He's, what is that movie? He like brings a mouse back to life. Tom Hanks is in it. He's a guard. I don't remember what the movie's called. I can't watch it because I cry every time because he decides to, because he's like, I'm tired, boss, because they can actually free him. They realize he didn't do it. Whatever. The whole point of that movie is like, or how this correlates is like, eventually it was like, you know what? I give up. I did what I could. I fought off the bad. And so that's it. So I'm going to look at Dark Mirror Oracle real quick and then we'll call it. I'm going to be honest. This is really interesting. I had a feeling that it was not the Mary Elizabeth Queen, whatever the hell. I had a feeling it was something else. And it feels like it's a teenage girl or a young girl that was like, I'm tired of being emotionally abused. And I feel like an entity just kind of helped her take care of business. So yeah. Let's see if we can get any final information on this. So as always, if you guys enjoy these readings, please give it a like. It really does support my page. Subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to have you here with us. Don't forget to vote in community posts so that I can pick whatever it is that you guys are into the most. Thank you to everybody that sits through 30 seconds of ads. It's a free and easy way to support my page. And comment down below if you've heard anything about a potential story that sounds like this, because that's what I'm getting. There's nothing about a queen. This is about a little girl or a teen or tween that was tired of being emotionally abused. I won't cry for you in the reverse. It's like she had a sweet soul and everybody around her was mean. Her parents were mean. The students around her were mean. Everybody was fucking mean. Yeah, it's like she tried to be nice. It's kind of giving me the vibe of like Jesus. It's like I'm trying to be a prophet. I'm trying to show you guys a better way. And you're all dark and ignorant. And I feel like she was probably spiritual. Like maybe she talked to Ghost Young. And that's how that kind of started, where it was like, let me show you guys a better way to live life. And they were in a headspace of like, gotta have the best, gotta be the best, all masculine, no feminine energy. And I feel like her mere existence just triggered everybody around her. Especially with all these twos around, it's reminded me of like unity within self. I feel like a lot of people didn't have that. This was a time where masculine energy ruled and feminine energy was seen as weakness. So don't cry. Yeah, literally with I won't cry for you. And so it feels like she was brought into the world to like make a change. But then because she was verbally kind of abused, she decided to take matters into her own hand. Yeah, it's like, it's a mixture. People around her were cruel, and then it taught her to turn herself off, and then I think she let some dark shit in to take over because she couldn't deal with especially with 2 and 1 turning into 3, which is collaboration. I feel like she, whether intentional or not, it feels like she let something in to help her bring justice to the people that treated her like shit. What's the back deck? Yeah, blinded to pain in the reverse. Again, I feel like she was a sensitive soul. Look at all these flies. It's like I have a lot of shit around me. And then look, 4 here, 4 there, which reminds me of 4 of Wands, which is home. They're both in the reverse. It's like nothing was home to me. Nothing was comforting to me. I had nowhere to go to feel safe. I had nowhere to go to feel like I was understood. I had nowhere to go. So it's like, how do I create heaven on earth when no one makes me feel good, when no one makes me feel like I'm seen? I think she went through a lot of shit. Yeah, so she got angry and she brought in some ancestors and probably some dark entities too with calling in the storm. 3, again, it's collaboration. It's like, I'll work with whatever I have to get what I deserve. And I feel like that's where this originates from. Anything else? Yeah, it's like people broke her soul. They broke her spirit. They were mean to her. And with 2 and 7 reducing to 9, it's like with that 2, I'm trying to be myself. You don't support it. With that 7, this is a spiritual mission that I'm trying. You're getting in the way. Bring that down to a 9. It's like, I'm ending this. I don't want this for me anymore. You guys are turning me into something I don't like. So I'm going to call on powers that be, especially with that moon here. It's giving me the vibe of like manifestation. It's like she brought in her witch generational line and they took care of business. What else? Anything else? Revenge. Yeah, that's the vibe. It's giving me Carrie vibes. It's like, all right, you guys won't play fair. You won't play love and light. Bet. Like, that's kind of the vibe. Forgetting oneself in the reverse. It's like she refused to change. She refused to get cold. It's kind of reminded me of like when you grow up and something's really popular. Like, for instance, my generation, Abercrombie and Fitch was really popular. You could wear a $30 t-shirt that was gray. And I was like, yeah, no, thank you. She was not willing to change who she was. And people saw that as a direct threat. Yeah, so it was like, I'm going to use my body and my metaphysical powers so that I can deal with you guys so that this shit doesn't happen again. Again, with these 2s, I think she cares a lot about everybody being treated correctly, not being abused emotionally, physically, whatever. I don't think she likes bullies. So I think, if you try to do the Bloody Mary challenge, the odds of you getting her are kind of slim because it's like, it feels like it's a portal. So it's like when you call, whatever can answer, it's like whatever's closest to the phone is kind of the vibe. So I don't think you'll always get her, but I feel like and I would not recommend doing this because it seems like you'll probably have to fuck with like some dark entities, but it feels like when she really comes is if you set an intention because you're being heavily bullied, or you're the asshole at the frat party that's like, Bloody Mary's not real, and I'm a boss, and I'm right, and you're wrong. If you've got that, like, superiority complex, that's the type of person that she will single out. So, yeah, this was really interesting. I knew it wasn't the Queen of England. It felt like something else. This is a girl that was dedicated to payback. I don't think she's around like that anymore, y'all. I think that's why, like, it probably worked in the beginning, but her soul moved on. But it's almost giving me this vibe of like a walkie-talkie where it's like, if someone's really, really struggling because they're being bullied and they know that this is how this works, it's almost like either she'll come through or a family member or like something will come through to help you. And if you're a douchebag, something will come through to scare you back into being humble. That's the vibe of this. So, yeah, I thought this was interesting. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Let me know down in the comments if you enjoyed this, because I would love to do more type of mythology stuff and see where it comes from, because I think it's interesting to figure out if mythology has some truth, because more often than not, it does. But I'm going to leave it at that. If you enjoyed this, please leave it a like. It really does help my page. If you know other people that have heard of this, feel free to share the video. I would love for people to hear about this. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to have you here. Comment down below what you've heard about this and what you think about what I've personally channeled. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. All the links are down below. If you want to book a personal reading with me, same links as well as my email, all in the description box. Just so you guys know, there's like a 7-ish day wait. So the sooner you book with me, the sooner you'll get your reading. I am one person, so please bear with me. I promise you it'll be worth it. Just give me time. I'm one person. But with that being said, this is all legend for entertainment purposes, only besties. And don't forget to continue to vote in community posts so that you can see what videos you want to see. And I love you so much, besties. I'm wishing you the best. Create the reality that you deserve, because you deserve the best. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching. I appreciate y'all so much. And I will see you guys in my next video.
The Comic the End.